singing. In 1974, Chicago radio broadcaster Studs Terkel published a best-selling compilation of interviews with a cross-section of people talking about their jobs.
For this performance, we interviewed local workers to gain insight on jobs and the people that do them.
Terkel described working as the extraordinary dream for ordinary people.
These are their words.
The mason singing,
The waitress singing,
The middle worker singing.
the manager singing,
fireman singing,
Each one singing.
the teacher,
The trucker.
the nanny,
The housewife. I hear America singing. America singing.
Every load is a challenge.
You pick it up,
You finally
and
put it
load
down.
it.
It's
It
the
sounds
feeling of
terrible.
completing a
Just
job.
a housewife.
I don't think you get in a production line
what is a
situation.
housewife?
Hey somebody, don't you wanna hear the story of my life? One of them movie companies, TV documentaries. Won't you come and ask me, please? And pay me $1 million to tell you what I do at the store. 'Cause if you pay me $1 million, I wouldn't have to go and do it no more.
1, 2, 3, 4. Just like the song said, all the live long day. Everybody gonna know that song. Working for a living the whole day long. All the live long day. Hey somebody, won't you turn your head? Take a look my way. I'm getting old and I tell you, getting old ain't nothing new. So I can get in love with you. Maybe my love found one day. Hair shine with the shade or shine out one day. And another cup of coffee, get the juices flowing. Another cup of coffee, get the juices flowing. Another cup of coffee, get the juices flowing. It's 1, 2, 3, get going. Just like the song said, all the live long day. Everybody done know that song. Working for a living the whole day long. All the live long. Just like the song said, all live all day. Just like the song said, all live all day. Just like the song said, all live all day. Just like the song said, all live all day. Everybody done know that song. Working for a living the whole day long. All live long.
I am a dying breed, a laborer, strictly muscle work.
By trade, I'm a civil engineer, but when my wife will introduce me to people and they ask me what I do, I say, I lay brick. Which isn't true, I just get a kick out of it.
I've lived in the US for approximately 16 years. After I got here, the first thing I started doing was remodeling construction.
You pick it up and put it down. Pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down. Typically in the morning, you wait in the shanty until 7 o'clock. You go in at 7, then you start walking your way up the ladder, climbing up the steel. Every 2 floors, you plank it off. Then you disconnect the bottom of the mast and you tie it to the boom on top of the choking cable. Then you do the same thing and pick it up on the other side.
Now, my usual time to leave the house is at 5:50 in the morning, every day. And I don't have a set time to get home. Sometimes with my work, we leave at 7, 8, 9 at night, or even 10, 11, 12. There's no specific time, so they can be intense work days. Sometimes 14 to 16 hours or more.
A lot of my friends were going into construction, and I was like, yeah, that sounds a lot more fun. Because then you're seeing things happen rather than just spreadsheets.
I started working structural steel when I was 18 years old. I've worked on towers probably 1,000 feet high, and most people are afraid of heights like that, so automatically every ironworker has an ego. You're doing something that somebody else can't do, and you get to wear a tool belt. And when you're a kid, 18 years old, and you have the wrenches in like a holster, Well, you're like a cowboy.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be a pilot. That's what I aspired to be when I was a child. But in the end, things change. Now I do roof renovations instead of flying high in airplanes.
I always knew I was going to be an iron worker. My brothers were iron workers, and my father was an iron worker, so it was a natural course of events. Oh, but my father, my father was very disappointed I didn't go to college.
I didn't finish university because I came here because people talked wonders about the United States. People from my town told different stories, beautiful stories, about how much money and profit you would make. It's not easy, and it's been stressful, but I've achieved my goals, and every day I try to learn new and different things.
I don't know why it is made so that blue-collar work is not something to strive for anymore. I think there's something really nice about being able to do honest work and hard work, and then going home.
We had a college boy at work this summer. One time he saw a book in my back pocket, and he was amazed. He says to me, "You read?" That's what can get you. The non-recognition by other people. To say that a man is just a laborer, a woman is just a waitress, it bothers you sometimes. Some mornings I look out across the skyline and look for a building I worked on. You say, that office building over there. You see that building? I helped build it. And I know some guy is sitting in his corner office behind his $5,000 desk, and he's never gonna think about me. But yeah, I think about him sometimes.
Amanda, where is that P&L report?
It's on your desk.
Why is it not in my hand?
I'm a project manager. I'm here at work at 7:30 a.m. I leave at 8 p.m. In between my meetings, I answer messages and email and try to avoid my boss. You always have a boss. Sometimes you have an okay boss, and sometimes you have a Satan boss, and oh, he's not behind me, is he? I wish these walls were like a little higher. I've been in a lot of different cubicles. I've been in the high wall cubes, I've been in the half-height cubes. Listen, the way things are, I'm glad to be in any cubicle at all. I have friends who would kill for this job, for any job. But my mentality is totally different than the people who are 20 years older, the lifers. I have no real sense of loyalty because I know they have a business to run and they'll lay me off if it's prudent. I accept that. I don't perceive that anyone my age thinks, I've got my first job here, I've got a job for life. What we feel is, all right, I'm going to get as much as I can from this company, and then I'm going to move on and get more money. This is the first job of many.
This is my first job. I smell like a burger. The register is easy. Hey, you want a burger? I hit the picture of the burger. Every day the same old thing. Hello, chicken nugget for the pounder. I wait for that phone to ring, the phone at the end of the counter. When I see the manager writing down an order, when I see the manager making change, when I see the manager writing an address, I whisper, yes, give me some change and send me on my way. Finally on my own.
Off on a delivery.
Deliver a piece and I'm headed to Parks Unknown.
Off on a delivery.
Fresh air and exercise. Sometimes I throw in some extra fries. For calling it in today, my world is gray
Until they send me away on a delivery.
And the wind is in my head.
Off on a delivery.
No one to watch me, I can wander anywhere. Getting cold and so do as I am told. Responsibility, I have responsibilities. See, my father sits at home, he doesn't work anymore, while my mother works a double shift at the department store. And it's nice not having to ask for money, and it's nice not having to ask for dinner, and it's nice on nights when you have to get away.
I need to liberate.
I go to work every day, I'm putting money away. Hey, you know what they say, slow and steady. I'm making minimum wage, it's pretty good for my age. If I can manage to save, I'll be ready to go wherever I gotta go, wherever the city leads me. For now the restaurant feeds me, and my family needs me. Deliverance, the customer's always right.
My deliberate.
Thanks for getting me out of the house tonight. I keep the order straight and I say sorry if I'm late. Some extra napkins for your plates for making you wait. That'll be $12.98. I can wander out of range.
My deliberate.
Towards a future new and strange. This job is just a start, but wait, I haven't told you my favorite part. It's when they pay, and then they say,
Fuck it, keep the change.
Keep the change. Keep the change. Keep the change. Keep the change.
and bit by bit I keep the change. If I save a little every day, yeah, this job's gonna deliver me far away. And I'll look back on this and say, thank God for delivery.
I'm a guy who likes to work. Some people enjoy tennis. I enjoy work. I enjoy being a leader, and I enjoy being the guy everybody looks to. I like the responsibility of having a team of people working for me. In our world of money management is still the sexiest job there is. Money is hot. True story, they did a study that found that just looking at a Maserati made girls produce twice as many hormones as normal. Oh yeah. If someone wants to call me a predator, a capitalist tool, or a modern robber baron, I take it as a compliment. Abso-fucking-lutely. That's what this country's about. The free market. It's not perfect, but if they would just leave it alone, it would sure as hell correct itself better than any regulator can. Yeah, some companies will go away, some people will lose their jobs, and some people will lose money. But that's just basic capitalism. Who developed America? The regulators, the SEC? Or was it the Mellons and the Rockefellers? I mean, tell me what they did bad. Rockefeller exploited some workers in the copper field. Maybe he shot some of them. Fine, not perfect, but who benefited? There's still Standard Oil, isn't there? Mellon Bank is still around. Listen, how many charities are started by these people? How many museums, theaters, national parks are here for us to enjoy thanks to the robber barons? These were the giants who built our city, who built our country. Unless you have losers, you cannot have winners. Hold on a second. I gotta take this. Yep. Okay, yeah. Yeah, give me 5 minutes. Yeah, okay. Look, I'm gonna have to cut this short. I gotta get back on the phone before the markets close overseas. Everybody works long hours these days. Kid wants to make it, he's gotta be willing to work long hours. And he's gotta know how to outsmart the regulator to make a profit. It's easy. Christ, if you can't outsmart one little government staff, you shouldn't come to work in the morning. I should be their teacher. You know, I've always wanted to teach. Maybe that's what I'd like to do when I get tired of all this. Get involved with young people, pass along my knowledge and my experience, my values.
My name is Rose Hoffman. I teach 3rd grade. Teaching is a profession I loved and still love. It's been my ambition since I was 8 years old. You know, I used to think teachers had golden toilets. They didn't do anything we common people did.
When I need to be uplifted, all I have to do is walk into the cafeteria during kindergarten lunch. You walk in there and you feel like Beyonce. The kids will say, "Oh, look, it's Cookie Monster." That's a little nickname for me. They'll come up to you like you're a celebrity, and they'll hug you, and they'll joke around with you. There are few things so successful like that at lifting my spirits.
I love being with the kids. The kids are always like the biggest pro of everything that I'm doing. Even when they drive me crazy, they're still the #1 reason why I come to work every day. The cons, they seem to be growing lately. It's just having to deal with the bureaucraticness of teaching. Having to get all the paperwork done and documenting everything. Oh, and communicating with the parents and your other team members and the other people in your department. It's a challenge, but it's necessary. Totally recognize that it's necessary, but you know, the biggest thing is making sure that everything we're doing is for the kids and it's beneficial for the kids.
You know, I tell my kids, Miss Hoffman's here, everybody works. Working is a blessing. It used to be I had 18 to 20 kids in my classroom from the beginning bell to the very end. Today, I have 37 in my class. They come in, they're on their cell phones, and then they scatter to other classrooms.
The students post-COVID...
Don't get me started.
This is crazy.
The students post-COVID don't have as much respect as they used to because when they were learning on camera, they could be talking to someone outside and be listening with one ear, but, you know, they weren't really listening. So when they came back to school, they continued that. And now if they're having a conversation, they don't completely recognize that someone's in front of the room teaching.
That's when you have to raise your voice to get their attention. They don't know how to listen, and nobody's teaching them how to listen.
These children think they know everything. Well, everything about computers.
There are a lot of great benefits to integrating technology into the education landscape. There's some drawbacks for sure. Constant access to your computer is not always great for your mental health. I think students get to school and other than gym, they're on their screens 5-6 hours a day. And then they go home and they're on their phones. And then they're on their phone in between classes. Too much screen time is definitely a thing.
I grew up in a world where technology has been so tightly integrated, I'm used to integrating it into my classroom by now. But teachers who've been working for a while went from overhead projectors, those plastic things, and all paper to an 80 to 90% digital world. That's just such a drastic turnout. Like I see my coworkers who are on the older side, who are still on the learning curve with this technology, who are still having to ask for help.
My classroom was always a showcase. In those days we did it ourselves, with colorful pictures and charts on the wall, a snowman in winter, a pumpkin in fall, and all my supplies were in neat little piles on the shelves. My children were always respectful. When I said, "Class, attention," they froze. If I had to leave for a minute or two, they always found something constructive to do. And all of them called me Miss Hoffman, not, God forbid, Rose. But manners don't seem to apply anymore. Say quiet down and they'll ask you what for. One simple request sparks a nuclear war. And insults on Instagram now. They want me to teach in a classroom like that, but nobody tells me how.
Remember Fortnite?
Oh my God, terrible.
My students in 2018, 2019 were used to going home at 3 o'clock and then playing video games until 11 or midnight. And so they would just show up tired. They were used to a level of dopamine that as a teacher you just couldn't compete with. Their behavior was always just kind of crummy, and that made me really grumpy.
Honestly, I struggle with the new age of student that doesn't want to work hard. We're in such an information-based era, everything is just instantaneous and at our fingertips. If it requires any level of problem-solving or critical thinking, it's just whining and resistance. I made a big thing about spelling, but they learned by the time I got through. They copied the words till they knew them by heart. 10 times for the dumb ones, and twice for the smart. And gold stars were given to those who made sentences too. But who needs to spell when you're texting all day? Spell check is OMG, awesome, they'll say. Like iPads to add and subtract, because hey, a pencil's for dinosaurs now. The way I've been teaching for 40-some years is no longer effective, or so it appears. Well, damn it, it worked for me then, so what's wrong with it now? They say I'm supposed to keep up with the times, but nobody ever tells me how.
Some people think that this is an easy job because we have different hours than other people and have different pay and get summers off, but you know, I think what they don't understand is that not all of the work happens in the building, and there's a ton of stuff that gets taken home after school and stuff we do outside of school to prepare for what we do in the building.
But we do it for the kids, right? Everything is for the kids. You know, there is this one little girl who stands out in my mind in all my years of teaching. My favorite, Maria. She wasn't very bright, but she was never any trouble. I see her every once in a while. She gives no trouble today either. She has the same smile for everyone.
As a barista, you don't just get to do one job. They kind of tell you what's happening as the rush comes in. So in the morning, I might be working food, and in the middle of the day, when things die down, I might start prepping at I don't know, whipping cream bottles or something. And then at night, I'm on drive-through. So you kind of get a turn at every job on the shift. And after doing that over and over again, you start to get pretty good at it.
After college, I wasn't exactly sure what route I wanted to take career-wise. I think something that's always been at the forefront for me is what can I do to make a positive change and what can I do to make a positive impact.
Working at Starbucks was a really positive time for me. I loved the people I worked with. Even though on shift, it can get stressful or things can go wrong or, some customers and even some coworkers can be annoying at the end of the day. We're all big one family though, and we get through it together.
So I coached high school lacrosse in North Carolina, worked in mixed-use real estate and interior design. I always tried to absorb everything that my coworkers were willing to share with me and show me the ropes.
When my manager was brand new, she was still kind of learning the ropes and how to schedule everybody and meet everyone's needs while also meeting the needs of the store. And I think she was really down on herself. I remember I saw her in the back room with her head in her hands, and she was saying, I don't think I'm doing a very good job. Maybe I shouldn't be in this role. What am I doing? And I told her, Melissa, I know it's hard right now, and you're trying to make everybody happy, and sometimes you can't. But the thing you're doing here, it does matter, because it leaves a positive impact on the team and our lives, because it's like a ripple effect.
For me, team has always been such a huge aspect of my life, whether that's in sports or my family or my job. I really try to look at every situation as this is my team. We get to, win together and lose together. We get to go through all the tough times together and celebrate in all the successes as well. I always think that it's brought a new type of fulfillment to my life because it's really made me focus, really distracted myself from the me and really made me focus on the we.
And that made me think what I do matters too. So I'd say overall, I really enjoyed my time working at Starbucks. It was kind of a thrill.
Oh no, you want to have a thrill? There's no comparison. It's going out there on the Dan Ryan Expressway. The moment you climb in that truck, you forget about the wife and kids you just kissed goodbye, and the adrenaline starts pumping. Breaking number 9, big buddy, put your ears on for me now. Big trucker gotta have a big life. So come on, brother trucker, you gotta come back, mother. Keep seeing double, lest I close one eye. I got to roll, roll, roll. same about the shape I'm in. Roll, 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 brother trucker, I'm back on my wheels again. Roll, 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 brother trucker, outward bound from South Bend. Roll, 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 brother trucker, I'm back on my wheels again. I'm running out of whites. Goddamn dim those headlights, or I was sleeping the last 2 nights. But I'm gonna be alright. I got to roll, 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 brother trucker. I say where and you say when. Roll, 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 brother trucker. I'm back on my wheels again. Roll, 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 brother trucker. Back it on up and do it again. Roll, 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 brother trucker. Back on my wheels again. You're gone for a week, 2 weeks. Picking up a load at one port, delivering it to another. You don't want to get stuck thinking about your problems at home. You sit in that truck and your only companionship is your own thoughts. So yeah, we truckers fantasize about something tremendous. You turn up the radio and you think about the girl behind that voice. And you build something up in your mind until you begin to believe it. Moving over New Jersey, big state police. I'm in a hurry. Won't you let me go in peace? I'm independent. I ain't got no teams to go. Cause the AFL and the CIO, they still don't know the road. And the only man telling me where to go is the man who owns the load. Roll, 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 brother trucker. I say where and you say when. Roll, 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 brother trucker. Back on my wheels again. Roll, 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 brother trucker. Back it on up and do it again. Roll, 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 brother trucker. Back on my wheels again. Brother, I'm back on my wheels again. Roll, 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 brother trucker. Back it on up and do it again. Roll, 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 brother trucker. Back on my wheels again. Brother, I'm back on my wheels again. Coming home to the wife can be a sort of letdown. I mean, she has to raise the kids, she has to fight off the bill collectors, she can't even count on her husband to be there for a graduation or communion. When you do get home, you're so tired, you'd rather be sleeping than getting ready to go out on a Saturday night. I make 2 round trips to Baltimore and pass within 4 blocks of my house. But I never do go home. Easier to just keep on going. So, you call your wife and tell her you won't be back. Hey, honey, I'm just, hello? Fucking phone company.
Hello, Verizon Tech Support. This is Johnny. How may I help you?
Yeah, this number isn't working and I've got like 5 bars.
I'm so sorry to hear that. May I have the number of the line you were calling?
Yeah, 667-802-9484.
I'm sorry, sir. It seems all the circuits in your area are
What?
busy.
I can't understand a word you're saying. What is wrong with you guys?
I'm sorry. Why don't you try waiting 5 minutes, then placing your call again? You'd think they'd be grateful to talk to a live person instead of an AI chatbot. But, no. Sometimes if they sound really upset, you just want to talk to them and say, gee, what's the matter? What's wrong with you? But you can't really say anything more than, I'm sorry you're having trouble. You can't really talk to customers. If you get caught talking once, that's 1 strike. 3 strikes and, I once had a woman say to me, operator, I'm lonesome, will you talk to me? All I could say was, gee, I'm sorry, I just can't. But you can't. I'm a communications expert, and I can't communicate.
So, I used to think of a receptionist as the loser at the front desk taking phone messages. Now I'm one. So, of course, I had to change my opinion. She had to be special, right? Because I'm so special. I was fine until we had this office party. I'd be having a fairly intelligent conversation with someone when they'd ask me what I did. When I'd say, I'm a receptionist, they'd make up an excuse and walk away. So now I make up other things for what I do. communications control, entry management. I'm tired at the end of the day.
But you get tired of talking. My mouth gets tired because you talk constantly for 6 hours straight without a 10-minute break.
There isn't a 10-minute break in the day that's quiet.
You can't think about it.
What I do all day is say what I have to say as quickly as possible and change the call to whoever it's going to.
You're in the room the size of a gymnasium, surrounded by people talking to people thousands of miles away.
I never listen in on phone conversations.
Do I listen in on phone conversations?
But let me tell you,
some people really do.
I once worked for AT&T, and all the girls used to listen in on phone conversations. I don't care who you are. If you work nights and it's real quiet, you're gonna listen in on phone conversations.
And you're still working, you're definitely listening in on those conversations. You'll sit there and listen and laugh until there's tears rolling down your face. It makes the day go faster.
Sometimes, to make the day go faster, I'll do drawings, laundry sort of things, never people. I pretend I'm alone and things are quiet. I call it the land of no phone.
I never answer the phone at home.
Hello? Oh, I'm sorry. No, thank you. My husband gets the paper at the office and I read it online. Oh, no, I don't have an office. I don't work. I mean, I work. Of course I work. It's just I don't have a job. Anyway, thanks for the offer. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I guess in my Mother's Day, they would have called me a housewife. That's funny. It's not like I sit around watching reality TV all day. I have a lot of work to do. You just want something more exciting to talk about at a dinner party, you know? Something that matters. What I do only matters to 3 people. All I am is just a housewife, nothing special, nothing great. What I do is kind of boring. If you'd rather, it can wait. All I am is someone's mother. All I am is someone's wife. All of which seems unimportant. All it is just my life. Do the laundry, wash the dishes, take the dog out, clean the house, shop for groceries, look for specials. God, it sounds so Mickey Mouse. Drop the kids off, pick the shirts up, try to lose weight, try again. Keep the troops fed, pick their things up, lose your patience. Count to 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All I am is just a housewife, just a housewife, nothing great. What I do is out of fashion, what I feel is out of date. All I am is someone's mother. Right away I'm not too bright. What I do is unfulfilling. So the TV talk shows tell me every night. I don't mean to complain at all, but they make you feel like you're 2 feet tall when you're just a wife, just a housewife. All they see are the pots and pans and the Pepsi cans of a person's life. You're a whiz if you go to work, but you're just a jerk if you say you won't. People say that they think it's fine when the choice is mine, but you know they don't. What I do, what I choose to do may be dumb to you, but it's not to me. Is it dumb that they need me there? Is it dumb to care? 'Cause I do, you see. And I mean, did you ever think, really stop to think what a job it was? Doing all the things that a housewife does. I'm afraid it's unimpressive. All I am is someone's mother. Nothing special. What I do is unexciting. Kind of take the kids here, take the kids there. I don't mean to complain at all, crazy.
Every day. All I am is.
Like my mother.
All I am is.
Just a housewife.
Yo!
UPS. You don't just jump up behind someone and scream.
I'm so sorry.
It's all right. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. You gotta make the day exciting for yourself, you know? Where is he? Now, where is he? I was bit once already by a Doberman. That is the biggest part of a dog's day, when the UPS man comes. So when nobody's looking and the dog comes running out of his little trap door, you juke him and you kick him down the porch steps. And while he's laying there in a daze like, "Arr!" You jump over him and you run like hell to the next house. And you better pray that they don't have a Ring camera. That is a big subject of conversation with us, dogs and women. Say you got a nice looking babe, kind of brightens your day. We have a code we put in the system. We put a Q, stands for cutie. She'll be in the backyard with a two-piece bathing suit on, laying on her stomach, top strap undone, and if you scare her good enough, she'll jump. Gives you something to do. It adds excitement to the day. UPS!
We thought we were going to a better job because we were tired of being out in the trees. So when they said, "Oh, there's a job grading tomatoes," we thought we're gonna be in a big building, you know? Sitting down and grading, you know? Oh no, when we got there to the orchard, way out there, we drove about an hour because they were way out there. And then when we got there, okay, just park your cars here and jump on the truck. And there was a truck. We had to jump on the back. There's steps and you get up. No seats, you're standing. And then it gets to the end of the long rows and it goes around and back to another row.
And 1963, it was the last year the Braceros came from Mexico. ¿Te lo puedes recordar?
Braceros was the pact with Mexico to save farm labor in the US. Braceros, strong arms.
Un mejor día vendrá. Un mejor día vendrá. Cuando Dios a los pobres un lugar dará. Cuando madura la tarde, vuelvo cansado a mi hogar. Y soñando en un futuro, olvido dolor y pesar.
I working with them, picking tomatoes on the ground. My knees and everything goes on the ground. They pay 17 cents a box of 15 pounds of tomatoes.
And it was important that they had los braceros back then. It's better than what's going on now. ¿Verdad? I wish they had implemented another program.
¿Dónde se ha ido mi vida? ¿Dónde se ha ido mi juventud? Perdidas en las palabras que el viento me trae, un día mejor vendrá.
And the workers work muy duro, very hard.
Mucho sol.
El sol. No hay sombra para tomar nuestros breaks. To take our breaks, we went to find where the cars were, and the car was our shade. We sat on the ground where the truck gave us shade. We took our break and our lunch there. We sat on the floor there.
Cuando estás en una vida así, por eso no se te hace dura, porque es una vida que estás viviendo en tu época. Cuando ya ahorita ya vas a trabajar, y uf, es un infierno, pero ya ahorita, ya moderno, es más fácil.
When you're living in a life like that, it doesn't seem hard because it's the life you're living in at the time. Now, in modern times, you go to work and it's an infierno, but now it's easier.
¿Dónde se ha ido mi vida? ¿Dónde se ha ido mi juventud? Perdidas en las palabras que el viento me trae, un día mejor vendrá.
Ya ahorita, cuando van a trabajar, les llevan agua, les llevan un lugar donde hacer del baño, les ponen un lugar donde hacerse debajo de la sombra.
Now, those who go to work in the field, they bring them water, a place to use the restroom. They give them somewhere to stay in the shade.
And before, there was none of that. You wanted to use the bathroom, and you had to run very far, so no one would look at you.
No había baños. There were no bathrooms. If there was a ditch, we would go. When there was no shade, there was nowhere.
Cuando Dios a los pobres un lugar dará.
There was a guy who worked on a site with me before. He doesn't speak English. I don't know that he speaks Spanish either. He doesn't speak. He was very quiet and was about 4'6". I love him, he's great. So I asked him, hey, do you want to make a little money on the side? I got this glass door, and between you and me, we could install it. He said yes, and so, we got a little Chipotle, I got a few words out of him, and we finished. Recently, my wife and I moved, and I was looking around the house and noticed that it needed some updating, so I thought I'd hit him up again. Then I found out he'd been deported, so he's no longer in the US. He's never done anything bad. He's just this little 4'6" guy trying to live a decent life, who loves his family and his job, but nobody's here. Everybody left. Yeah, that was a hard one to digest.
Un mejor día vendrá. Un mejor día. Dios a los pobres un lugar dará.
If there are trees, the trees have to be at a certain height, not too high, and they have ladders. When we were working, the trees were so tall that we had to go up the highest we could, sometimes until the last branches. Like cherries, many people fell.
Un día vendrá, un mejor día vendrá, cuando Dios a los pobres un lugar dará.
Es diferente la vida ya lo que era antes.
They're getting it better now. They're getting better pay. We got 60 cents a bucket of cherries, I think. That was the policy.
My company has a policy. We have to be on site 3 days a week. So any given week, I can work 2 days from home.
I work in a luggage factory. I'm at the mill 40 hours a week. We make suitcases.
I have a lot of freedom in my role, generally, especially with my team. We have morning meetings every day, so when I'm at home, I can focus much more on just my actual job responsibilities, rather than helping the rest of my team with kind of the administrative stuff, like reviewing work, or helping acquire materials, things like that.
The tank I work at is 6 foot deep, 8 foot square. In 40 seconds, you have to take the wet felt out of the felter, put the blanket on to draw out the excess moisture, wait 3 seconds, take the blanket off. Pick up the wet felt and balance it on your shoulder. Reach over, get the hose, spray the inside of this copper screen. Turn around, walk to the hot dry dye behind you. Take the hot piece off and set it on the floor. Put the wet piece on the dry dye, push this button. Inspect the piece you just took off, stack it, count it. 40 seconds. In the summertime, the temperature at our workstation ranges anywhere from 100 to 150 degrees. I've taken a thermometer and checked it out myself. I have arthritis in the joints of my fingers, naturally in my shoulder from balancing this wet piece. The hydraulic presses will sometimes leak and spray back at you, and the hoses leak so you're slipping on oil. Possibility of being burnt every time the hot dye hits that wet felt. You're just engulfed in a cloud of steam every 40 seconds. The tank runs 24 hours a day. I work 8 straight hours with 2 10-minute breaks and a 20-minute break for lunch. I find it difficult to eat my lunch in that length of time. 40 seconds. Granddad was a sailor, and he blew in off the water. My father was a farmer, and I his only daughter. I took up with a no-good mill-working man from Massachusetts, who died from too much whiskey and leaves me these 3 faces to feed. Mill work ain't easy, mill work ain't hard. Mill work most often is a goddamn awful boring job, and I'm waiting for a daydream to take me through the morning and put me in my coffee break so I can have my sandwich and remember it's me and my machine for the rest of the morning, for the rest of the afternoon, and the rest of my life. They can't keep men on the tanks. They say it's too monotonous. I think women adjust to monotony better than men do because their minds are used to doing 2 things at once, whereas a man can only think about 1 thing at a time. A woman can listen to a child while she's doing something else. It's the same way on the tanks. You get to be automatic in what you're doing whilst your mind is doing something else. My mind begins to wander to my days back on the farm, and I can see my father smiling at me, swinging on his arms, and I can hear my granddad's stories of the storms out on Lake Erie, vessels and cargoes, fortunes and sailors' lives were lost. It's
My life has been wasted, and I have been a fool to let this manufacturer use my body for a tool.
I get to
ride home in the evenings, staring at my hands, swearing by my sorrow
that a young girl ought to stand a better chance.
And may I work this mill just as long as I am able, and never meet the man whose name is on the label. It's me and my machine for
I guess it's cheaper to make luggage overseas somewhere.
We have sites in China, sites in mainland Europe, Germany, France, multiple sites in the US. All of our IT that works on building these structures are based in India.
We're all just hoping we can hold on to our jobs for as long as we can. You wish you didn't have to work in a factory, but when it's all you know how to do, it's what you do.
When I was 5 years old, my family moved out to a little suburb out in Paris, and I got the opportunity of a lifetime. My mother showed me all of these wonderful things. Cathedrals, the Louvre, just everything. I was a sponge. I just couldn't get enough of cathedrals. I really don't think I thought of another career path after that because I just fell in love with architecture. I think that the best buildings are buildings that have a real heart to them, where people love them. In June 2001, I got a really wonderful spread in the Washington Post. I was shooting for HGTV's Dream Builders. I was just, flying high, really busy. And then my brother was killed. He was on the plane that crashed into the Pentagon. And in that moment, I couldn't do architecture anymore. And I was useless. And so I told all of the clients who had been waiting for me, I'm just not the same person that you hired. I can't do this. And I was just trying to figure out how to live.
He builds a house with his hands. 30 years go by, it stands. It stands where nothing stood, a house of stone. The mason sleeps real good.
It's a pretty good day laying stone. You get interested in what you're doing and you usually fight the clock the other way. You're not looking for quitting, you're wondering if you have got enough done, it's almost quitting time.
I want to be a creative person. I can't not be a creative person. To me, not being creative is a death. I began to work through it with an art therapist who looked at my art and observed, this is a cathedral, and this is a cathedral, and I began to realize that what I wanted to create was a heightened way of living.
There's not a house in this country I haven't built that I don't look at every time I go by. And if there's one stone crooked, I notice it. The people what lives there, they might not notice it, but I notice it. Stone's my business and stone's my life. I dream all the time about stone.
He does his workday flies, quit in times of big surprise. And then it's one more stone to get just right. It's always one more stone before the night. Every house he builds, every stone he lays, it's not just making money and counting off the days.
See, when my brother passed, it disrupted the family. And I came to want to create big, open spaces where families gather.
Someday I'm gonna build me a stone cabin down by the Green River. I'm gonna make stone cabinets in the kitchen. Everything's stone. Stone front door. Now that's gonna be very heavy. All my dreams seem like they have a piece of rock mixed up in them.
I figure the more we break down the barriers in our lives of who we are and who we want to be, the better off we all are. My hope is that in these spaces, people will learn to honor and love each other. So I got back to design and I began to live again.
She built a house with her hands. 100 years go by, it stands. It tells you who he was. A life goes fast, but the work a mason does, it's made to last. The work a mason does.
There's nothing on this earth that's gonna last forever, but with stone, you're getting pretty close.
It's made to last.
I wake up at 7:30 in the morning, not because I want to, because my dog, my boss, decides it's time. So we go for a walk, and already I'm thinking, should I be filming this? Because if I film this, it could do numbers. A guy, a dog, morning light, boom, viral. But I don't. Because sometimes I just want to be a guy walking his dog, not a brand. I grew up being told to get a real job. Stable job, benefits, something that doesn't disappear if an app crashes. So I listened. I taught English in Korea. I consulted in New York City. I wore a lanyard. I had meetings about meetings. And then one day, I got paid to show up somewhere. And I got paid almost half my entire yearly salary for one event. And I remember thinking, wow, either I've completely misunderstood money or I need to quit my job. So I quit the next day. Very professional, very stable. People love to tell me this isn't real work. And every time they say that, I think, oh, you're dumb. Respectfully, because here's the thing no one sees. I spend 8-10 hours a day working and then go on my phone and convince myself I didn't do enough because someone else posted more. Someone else went more viral. Someone else looks happier, hotter, richer, and somehow always on vacation. And then suddenly I'm exhausted from doing nothing but comparing myself to people I don't even know. And still, I love it because my friends hate their jobs. They sit in offices they can't escape. They study for years just to realize they chose wrong. And yeah, this job is weird and exhausting. And sometimes I don't know where my real self ends and my online self begins. But I wake up every day and I get to tell stories. I get to make people laugh. I get to connect cultures, languages, food, humor. And for the first time in my life, the things people always told me to tone down, the talking, the attention, the confidence. Turns out that's the job. So maybe this isn't real work, but it's my work. And honestly, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
I'm the CEO of a nonprofit. I've held multiple positions. I've worked there for 36 years. I do a lot of advocacy, particularly with the Maryland General Assembly session, meeting with legislators. I focus on the intellectual and developmental disabilities community, IDD. Sometimes I have to meet with legislators so that they can hear different sides of an issue. I do a lot with business operations, how to move the needle on making our programs more inclusive and creating more programs that are not for people with disabilities, but are for everyone, and everyone just happens to include people with disabilities. But there's a lot we do collaboratively as a team. I don't think people realize that for the CEO of a nonprofit, there's a lot of weight on your shoulders, where you really want to make sure that your organization is meeting its mission, providing the supports, the services, whatever your organization's thing is that you're doing for the people you were created to make the world a better place for. You know, some people who don't understand might say, this person's never going to live on their own. This person's never going to have a job. And now, 15 years later, they're doing all of that. And they've built a life for themselves. I think for me, as I've gotten older, it's become more of a social justice issue. One of the last social justice issues for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, or people with invisible disabilities. I think when the general public hears disability, they think of people who use wheelchairs. I think it's justice. I think it's a desire for everyone to have somewhere where they feel they belong, somewhere where they're valued and respected.
Excuse me, my lord. What's exciting at the bar that I can offer you? It would be very boring if I had to say, would you like a cocktail? Over and over. So, I come out different for my own enjoyment. I'll say, excuse me, my lord, what's exciting at the bar that I can offer you? What? Something. Maybe with a cocktail I'll give a little philosophy. With coffee I'll give political science. I have an opinion on every single subject there is. My boss hates it. So, I have to speak sotto voce. But if I get heated, I don't give a damn. I speak like an Italian speaks. I have to be a waitress. How else does the world come to me? People have to eat, people have hunger, and I serve them. I give service. I can't be servile. There is a difference. I get intoxicated by giving service. It becomes theatrical, and I feel like Mata Hari. It intoxicates me. I'm on stage. There's some that don't care when they put down a plate. There's a sound, not with me. When they move a chair, it'll scrape with a grate on the ground. Not with me. I will have my hand right when I place a glass. Notice how I stand right as customers pass. Serve a demi-tasse or a vodka martini with grace rarely seen, even backed by Puccini. La, 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 la. It's an art to be a fine waitress, to see that you pleasure each guest. There's a flick to my wrist while I bring your steak in, and watch how I take in your liver and bacon. It all will be stylish and smart. That's what makes it an art. I remember one day, as I do now and then, I had shakes. Down I went, there with my tray full of coffees and cordials and cakes. Down I went, but I kept my poise. Not one guest heard me fall. Never made one noise, not one noise, food and raw. If you have to crawl, you give up what they like. You carry your tray like it's almost ballet-like. La 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 la. It's an art to be a fine waitress. Each evening I treasure the test. Like tonight was a fight, 'cause they hired this busboy, this clothes all a must boy, and guest heard him cuss. Boy, did we have a quick heart-to-heart. Even that is an art. Tips, tips are important to people like captains and barmen. For them, you're tipsy. For me, I'm a gypsy. Just toss me a coin, and I suddenly feel like I'm coming. What with her meat? On you go. among the roaches, my accent didn't end. Every night I tend to find myself crying. There's no work so trying or so satisfying. I tell everyone I'm a waitress, and I'm proud. If someone says to me, hey, you're terrific, how come you're just a waitress? You know what I say to them? I say, why? Don't you think you deserve to be served by me? It's an art to be a great waitress. Do without leisure or rest. So I zoom through the room with an air no one else has. No one else has. I swear, no one else has my lilt when I say a la carte. You can see it gives me a glow. Every time I prove I'm a pro. Maybe I'm not quite Michelangelo. I'm not just a waitress. I'm a After 16 years here, I went on a trip to Hawaii. Went with my lover. My eldest daughter said, hey, act your age. You know what I said to her? Honey, if I were acting my age, I wouldn't be walking. Not after 16 years on this job.
When I retired the first 2 years, I was downhearted. I had no place to go, nothing to do. Then I gave myself a good going over. Joe, I said, you can't sit at home and do nothing. You gotta get out, do things. Well, the day goes pretty fast for me now. I don't daydream at all. I just think of something and forget it. That daydreaming, it don't do you no good. Keep busy, keep moving, that's the trick. You wake at 10. Fold up the bed, you don't want to leave your couch open all day, you know it's depressing. You cook an egg, you toast some bread, you cook for yourself, you save a bundle. If you don't keep track of your own money, who will? You think about the day ahead, you don't go feeling sorry for yourself. It's like I said, you can sit home and be mad at the world, or you can go out and do things. You meet a chum. This guy lives down by National Biscuit. Boy, you should see the nice aroma. You shoot the bull, you argue some, and maybe he calls up a couple fellas to come over, play some poker. You lose at gin until they come. This guy remembers what cards he picked up. The dirty bum. But even getting beat at gym beats doing nothing. You take a bus, you take a train, you go visit your wife's grave. On the way, you read the Reader's Digest. It does you good to use your brain. Or maybe you go out and see your cousin, you bring a six-pack along. Just take a stroll down memory lane. When we were young, we was always together. And Raising Cane, we go back a long ways, him and me, all the times we had. I remember once, back in 72, we were at this fair with these girls we knew, on this crazy ride where you screamed or you prayed, with a Big Dipper they called it. We could hardly walk as we left the car, so we staggered down for a candy bar. Then we sat and laughed in the penny arcade. At 6 o'clock, you watch the news, then politicians get you so mad you throw your slippers at the set. You cook some franks, no big to-dos. Most nights you lay around, you straighten up. Maybe you call your daughter, you watch a game, you take a snooze. But then there's Sunday. Sunday's different. You change your shirt and shine your shoes, 'cause you're going around the block to the tavern. You shoot some pool, you drink some beer. You don't have to drink a lot to have a good time, maybe 3, 4 in an evening. You find a pal, you bend his ear, and you meet a lot of your old crowd there Sundays. Sometimes a bunch of you sing the kind of song you never hear, like Hey Jude or Imagine, and then you cheer. Sunday night we watched Stand By Me. Believe it or not, I once did a waltz to that, too honest to God. It was at a dance. I was 17, and the girl was like from a magazine, and the lights were low, and I really mean low. I think a couple of my friends had something to do with that. And I kissed her cheek as we waltzed away. I remember that like it's yesterday. Boy, was she surprised. I could hear her say, "So." They drive you home from round the block. You take your cash out of your sock. You fix the bed, you check the lock. You wind the clock. When I retired, a lot of people told me, "Joe, you got your health, you shouldn't have done it." But it was too late. I don't know why I retired, it's just a habit, I guess. But I got no regrets. I keep busy, I keep traveling, no regrets.
Losing a grandfather at home to hospice and seeing the healthcare workers provide care and education to my family during that time, it was inspiring, and it made me feel like I need to do this someday. Now I visit patients in their homes and assess how they're doing. I assess symptoms, questions, concerns, and challenges that they may be facing. I let them know how much we care and that we want to hear from them about what their life is like, what their goals are and their hopes are, and then we'll get behind that and support that. I primarily used to work in pediatrics. When it comes to the dying process, man, these kids are incredibly wise. And they're usually the first people to get their parents on the dying page. Once one actually said, "I'm not going for treatments tomorrow. Mom, I'm going to a birthday party in heaven." Our patients teach us many neat things, like the importance of seizing the moment. Had a very good day today. We went down to the senior center just a mile away. Some days he only wants to stay at home, but on Tuesdays they play music and they dance. You should have seen him dance. They were playing Spanish music. He's a ham, he likes to make the nurses smile. Some days he can't remember who I am, but today he was lucid for a little while. Through it all, I take his pulse, I change his clothes. Where are his children? Heaven knows. It doesn't pay much, but I get through because I do the work that no one else will do.
She had a very good day today. We went to a nearby park where she likes to play. She's only 5, but she can do it all. And today we took her scooter for a ride. You should have seen her glide, and I was terrified. I spent the afternoon just running by her side. The sun came down and then I brought
each night. And I sing, mahal kita, minamahal kita, mahal na mahal kita, till she's asleep. She says I love you, and I love her too, while I do all the work her mother doesn't do.
I have a family of my own.
I have a daughter back at home.
I send whatever I can,
with no one singing her to sleep.
and sometimes I close my eyes and imagine I am there. Duérmete,
mahal kita,
duérmete,
minamahal kita.
Hasta la madrugada, duérmete. He had a very good day today. We went down to the senior center, just a mile away. One day my dreams are gonna all come true.
For now I do what no one wants to do. For now I do what no one wants to do.
You go in there, and it's dark. Smoke poured out of the goddamn building. It all happens real fast. I feel this tremendous heat to my left. I turn around, and the whole room is orange and yellow. You could just see the orange and feel the heat. The lieutenant and the other fireman managed to get the ladder up and save 2 people. But downstairs, there was a guy trying to get out the door. They had bolts on the door. He was burnt dead. You know what the lead man said? We lost a guy. Shit, we lost a guy. You saved 2 people. How do you know a guy's sleeping on a pool table?
Yeah, but we lost a guy.
I always wanted to be a fireman. A lot of guys wanted to be a fireman. It's like kids. Everybody's still a kid. Guys 40 years old still feel like kids inside, except they're starting to lose their hair and don't party as much. You know, I used to be a cop. You know why I switched to fireman? It's because I liked people. And when I was a cop, I could just feel the hate coming into me. I remember one time I went to the roof of this project, and there's this big black guy, about 6 or 7, at the top of the stairs. He had his back to me. I said, "Hey fella, turn around." He said, "Yeah, wait a minute." His elbows were moving around his belt. I said, "Turn around a minute." It dawned on me that he had a gun con on his belt, and he was trying to get it out. So I took out my gun, and I said, "You fucker, I'm gonna shoot!" He threw his hands up against the wall. Well, he was peeing. He was trying to zip up his fly. So here was this guy relieving himself, and maybe a lot of guys would have killed him. I say, "I could have killed you." He started shaking, and the gun in my hand was shaking like a bastard. And I said, "Just get the hell out of here." So I took the fire department test in 2010 and got called in 2011. You know, the whole damn world is so screwed up, the country's screwed up. But the firemen, you actually see them produce. You see them put out a fire. You see them come out with babies in their hands. You see them give mouth to mouth when a guy's dying. That's real. You can't get around that shit. That is real. I can look back and say, I helped put out a fire. I helped save somebody. Someone could be born. Someone could grow old because of me. It shows something that I did on this earth.
You know what I always wanted to do? I wanted to play the piano. That's what I really wanted to do. And I'd write songs and things about my life growing up in Central America, my abuela, my mama, and me. And now I have my own beautiful daughter, and I have plans for her. So I leave my house cada mañana and go scrub rooms up at the Marriott. And then every night it's back to this office and it's scrubbing again. For generations, that's all we've done, scrubbing. My abuela, my mama, and me. But my daughter, she isn't going to do any domestic work.
I end to put an end to that particular line. My mama worked just like her mama before her. Domestic working was their trade. They would laundress, cook, and the living help. Thursday girl, babysitter, and a hotel maid. They worked 6 days a week, all day long, and never could get out of debt. Those were the days when the minimum wage was anything you could get. They were cleaning women without faces, coming and going on a first name basis, and talking to somebody who knows. And after too many years, I don't wanna be in any laundry room. I don't wanna hold another goddamn broom one of these days. Just wanna sleep till noon. All day long I'm thinking my kids out in the streets somewhere, but the folks up in their rooms don't think I'm thinking half the time. Always talking around me like I'm not even there. It's just getting so does something to my I got a daughter with her head on her shoulders and pretty as a picture too. No, she ain't gonna hide that pretty face behind closed doors, scrubbing floors like her mama do. If my legs don't give out and my back hold up, I'm gonna make her a better day. Oh, one of these days. You'll never see her get down on her knees unless she's down there to pray. No more cleaning women without faces. She's gonna walk in on this last name basis. She'll be the first in this family to have a face you can see. Lord, she's gonna be stuck inside my laundry room. When she's sleeping, she'll be pushing her own broom. Someday will come when she can sleep till noon, as long as she can get up singing her own tune. For me that day, Lord, for me that day, can't come too soon. That day can't come too soon. That day can't come too soon. I come from 4 generations of cleaning women. And my daughter, she's a whole new generation. And that's what we got coming up, a whole new generation.
Maybe it's a generational thing, but in my senior year of high school, I was all set to go to college. I just didn't want to. Now, my advisor sort of realized, so what does he do? He pulls out a pamphlet titled Rustic Pathways and was like, here, take a look at this. And the first page I opened had a picture of a little island that read Fiji. So I went, that looks pretty cool. So I took a gap year. I spent 3 months in Fiji and later 3 months in Thailand, and man, was it eye-opening. I spent time in a pretty remote highland village about 3 hours from town, and it didn't have electricity, and it didn't have running water, and one thing that really hit home to me was just how happy people were there. Community. In the US, it's like we're born into the society where we live to work. Like corporate America, we're getting up and we're working for $1. I mean, that's society here, but over there, in Fiji, it's different. Every task that you do is directly putting food on your plate. It's working to live, not living to work like over here. Thought maybe I could take that with me going forward. I ended up graduating college, and now I'm the landlord for some mixed-use buildings in Manhattan. We all hold so many misconceptions about each other because very few people actually take the time to talk to each other and learn from each other. Like, people say landlords just don't care and all they're doing is money grabbing, things like that. And while there are landlords and people in general who do that, there's still humanity in this job,
There's still people who want to take care of other people, and the community aspect of things still exists, and it's important.
I'm 31, and I've been in the federal government for 2 years now.
I'm retired now, but I used to be a lobbyist. I created and advocated funds for a medical research program at the Department of Defense. We focused on eyesight and vision loss in our troops, which had never been funded before.
I'm very young in the agency where I work. There's not a lot of people at my level, not a lot of peers to help show me the ropes. Everybody's much further along in their careers.
I helped grow funds from $3 million to $20 million. And then I left. But now that Congress is such a mess, I'm glad I'm gone. I think I really made the best decision getting out of there at that time.
And then being a woman in science, yeah, it's definitely a thing. I think I compare myself to other people a lot more than people expect me to, because I'm comparing myself to people who have been here, 10, 15 years? And I'm like, why don't I know all this stuff? And then I remember, I've been here for 2 years. All that competition, it's internal. It was isolating being new all alone, but I've really come to appreciate that we're a team. Working in biology, I could go work for some big pharma and make much more money than I'd ever make working for the federal government. But, I love this job and I'm passionate. And me and my coworkers, we care about the public and the people. And that's what drives us to show up and do this job every single day.
Since Congress has zeroed out my program, they're no longer funding it. And now, I didn't know that was going to happen when I left, but they really don't care about our troops anymore. They just said they don't care. They don't care about the public, and they don't care about the people. They don't care about the only research program in the world that's focused on eyesight vision loss in our troops. I worked my butt off every year to increase funding. It was so important to me. The one thing I could point my finger at the world at and say, I did this. I created this. I got it funded, and its funds grew from $3 million to $20 million. And Congress just ruined it. Besides the fact it's an insult to our troops, it's all my years of work down the drain.
I started a new role with a healthcare organization, the same organization that my father works for. I've always thought my dad was so wonderful and so great, but now getting to see him go out of his way to help everybody and to be a moral compass and just really be a positive impact for change.
I've heard a lot of songs say, "Where you going, my son?" Now I know they're true. Boy, you never stop to think how fast the years run. Now they've taken you. I remember you was 3.5. Your mom and me, we'd sit there after things got quieted. We'd laugh at some new word you said, how tough you were to get to bed, and we'd plan the night away, planning for our kid. I was your hero then. I couldn't do no wrong as far as you were concerned. You thought I was the best of men. The tables hadn't turned. I hadn't learned how little time it takes. And daddies make mistakes. It seems to me that lately I've been thinking a lot. I think about my dad. Lots of funny things come back, thought I forgot. Now they make me sad. than it used to be. I didn't want him hugging me, and I shuddered if he did. Further back to summer nights, baseball games beneath the lights, and sleeping in the car. My daddy and his kid. He was my hero then. He couldn't do no wrong as far as I was concerned. I thought he was the wisest and the strongest and the best of men. The tables hadn't turned. I hadn't learned how little time it takes. But everybody breaks, and daddies make mistakes. You know, this may sound square, but my kid is my imprint. You know what I mean? Every single time I see a smart guy walking by dressed real sharp, I'm looking at my kid. You know what I want? I want my kid to tell me that he's not gonna be like me. I want him to look at me and say, Dad, you're a nice guy, but you're a fucking dummy. Hell yeah. If you can't improve yourself, you improve your posterity. Otherwise, life isn't worth nothing. You might as well just go back to the cave and stay there. I'm sure the first caveman went over the hill to see what was on the other side. I don't think he went there wholly out of curiosity. I think he went there because he wanted to get his son out of the cave. I've heard a lot of songs say, where you going, my son? Now I know they're for real. Boy, you never stop to think how fast the years run. All the things they steal. Now it seems I always knew why I do the things I do and the things I never did. I do the things I do. Why I work my whole damn life so I could give a better life than the one my dad could give me. I give it to my kid.
I could have been what I could have been. I could have been something.
I wanted to be a writer.
A Major League Baseball player.
On my own little farm.
If what I could be had been left to me, I would have been something.
But then I got married.
Then the kids came along.
And then my dad took sick.
A tower of strength, a center of power. At $10 an hour.
You know, there's always a stumbling block. I was gonna work for a few years and then buy me a car, head west. Then I met the wife. And that really changed my plans. You never know what you would have did.
If I could have been what I could have done, I could have done big things.
With some luck to do what I wanted to, I could have done big things.
Swam a few rivers,
Climbed a few hills, paid all my bills.
now it's just dreams that I'm stuck with. And hell, that ain't a lot to show.
I haven't gone far from the starting line, but deep down
not just the work. Somebody built the pyramids.
The pyramids, the Sears Towers, those things didn't just happen.
Of all things to spend life doing, seeing something grow from nothing is inspiring. Like something is a parking lot, and now I can drive into Baltimore and look at a skyscraper and go, I did that.
The sort of tangible win is an FDA approval, as seeing a product that you sort of started from the beginning on the market, walking into a CVS and seeing your product right there on the shelves.
I don't care how little you did. If you worked on a road, you get to say, I worked on this road.
If there's a bridge, you say, I worked on this bridge.
Picasso can point to a painting.
A writer can point to a book.
What can I point to?
Everyone should have something to point to.
You know what I'd like? I would like to see a building, say the Empire State Building. I would like to see on one side of it a foot-wide strip from top to bottom with the names of all the people who ever worked in or on that building. All the names, so that when a guy walks by, he can take his son or take his daughter and say, see that building.
I was the one who did the design. I was the one who drafted the plans. Every detail and every line. See that building.
I ran the crane that lifted the beams. I was the gal that worked up above.
Look at those bricks are mine.
Every detail and every line.
See that building.
Look on my door, hangs in the frame.
See that building.
40 flights up, I scratched my name.
See that building.
I'm on the staff, I work as a guard.
I clean the floors and I clean them good. People don't know my job is hard. See that building.
5 days a week, I work at a desk.
I do the books.
I